I haven't had to move it at all for the last few weeks. Just been that little quiet, empty stool right there. Well, we blinked and now it's March. It's March. And I know I talked about having this, this green, streamy style background, and it's nice to have it. And I know that the forecast says that there's snow overnight tonight. Regardless of what happens, that's staying up. Like, we're not going back to the snow picture. I have no idea if I'm gonna be checking the radar right before I go to bed, and I might have to wake up at 3 to go drive the district and find out. But there are no kids. All the kids that would be in school will be out, right? There might be a couple, but I don't think we're gonna have any kind of delay tomorrow. But they can still be excited, I suppose. Yeah, sorry, Jackie. It is now March. And before another month flies past us, I want to recap, I want to regroup, make sure we're all still on the same page. 2026 is the year of Shema. It's our focus theme word for this entire year. We're going to be talking about different Shema things throughout the entire year. Sometimes it's made a little more sense than others. Sometimes you might wonder why we're doing it, but it is the intention that we will make it a priority for this year to make Shema our theme. With 2 months under our belt, hopefully we all know what Shema means. If you don't, maybe you've got earbuds in and you're just waiting to see pretty pictures up on the screen. Or perhaps I haven't done enough on my end to communicate why the word Shema is our theme word. Shema, in Hebrew, is a call to obedience. It basically means to hear. It's at the beginning of the worship that the Israelites do. Every time they would come together, they would say what they called the Shema, which began with, "Hear, O Israel," Shema Yisrael. A Shema is a call to obedience. It can be used in terms of the word, or it can also be used in terms of the thing that it is, a call to obedience, that you are hearing, you are responding to what you hear God saying for you. And we've participated in some call and response over the last few weeks. We've done some liturgy like that as a congregation that's helped us on an interactive level so that we can feel what it's like to respond to calling, so we can hear teaching and then we can act upon it. But obedience is something that I want us to see we all take hold of. We need to be able to learn to be obedient because it's healthy as a congregation to be obedient. A church body should demonstrate obedience. We show that we are faithfully listening. We show that we are taking action on what we are hearing God say to us as a congregation. God's church is not a stagnant church. We ask God to move in us. We should expect to be moved. As we open our doors to community, we are inviting the community into our lives and closer to the heart of God. How can that ever be stationary? Every new person, every new voice, it's all part of a growing body, a healthy body that's changing and coming alive in exciting ways that we may not even realize at the time. It's kind of cool, isn't it? Yes, thank you. It is cool. And we're also breaking this year up into monthly themes. We have monthly sermon series that are based around 12 different concepts that are the interpretations of 12 Hebrew names, the 12 sons of Jacob. 12 sons, 12 months. Their names all mean different things. They all have different names that they were given for a reason. 12 boys from different mothers, 4 different mothers in fact, all with a different name for a different reason, with their own unique personalities, their own unique qualities. All of them make up a diverse group that is the root of the Israelite nation. So far we've had 2, Reuben and Simeon. Seeing and hearing. Reuben was see a son. Simeon is God has heard. And I want to go ahead and give you a little spoiler and jump ahead a bit because we need to know the next 2 together. One of them we're starting today, and the next one will be next month. Levi and Judah are the 3rd and 4th sons. And that will round out the first 4 sons of Jacob, all from the mother. Anybody remember? Leah. Leah has 4 sons with Jacob: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah. And I want you to know this now because both of these sons, Levi and Judah, are going to be referenced today. I'm going to get to them a little later. And also because for the month of April, when we are in the study of Judah and what Judah means, I'm going to have some homework for you guys. I want you to be thinking of it now so that you're prepared. So many like grumbles and it's not really even homework. I have a task from all of you. I would like for people in this congregation to share with me before April arrives. During the month of March, I would like for you to share with me what you do, what your day is like. I want to hear, like maybe it's like a page or 3 or 4 paragraphs. I would like for members of this congregation to come up and share. You don't have to preach. You're not going to be asked to answer lots of crazy questions or pray for everybody, things you might be nervous about, whatever. I would just like to hear what your day is like. We all are doing different things our day. Nobody, even if you're all retired, you're not doing the same things in retirement. You're all living your own lives, doing your own things. And that's going to be a lot of what happens in our series in April, which we're calling 100%. The month of April will be 100%. And we'll be studying Judah. And I would love for you to share. So now it's in your head. Absorb it. Think about it. And we'll come back to it. Okay? But for now, it's March. And it's time to start with a story. In the last 20 years, my family has gone on several factory tours. I don't know if it was the show How It's Made or if it was Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and the Picture. Something got in me as a really young kid that I wanted to watch things be made. I wanted to see that process and, like the crayons, like the thing melts and they all come up. That's such a cool video. Leslie and I have both enjoyed seeing how things are made, and we wanted that to be something that our kids got to experience with us. So whenever we could, when we would travel somewhere, we would go find a factory that we could tour. We have seen how Dum-Dums are made. We have seen how ice cream is made. We've seen bottled sodas at the 881 factory, pretzels, Kellogg Cereal City, which you can't go to anymore, but that was kind of a fun thing, and a few more. But today, I want to share with you 2 that we went to that are very, very different factory tours, even though they're both in Pennsylvania, and they're not far from each other, but 2 different Pennsylvania factories that we toured, vastly different. The first one, Hershey's Chocolate World. Anybody ever been to Hershey's Chocolate World? The factory tour of Hershey's Chocolate World. He might as well be. If you've ever been there, it's not a factory tour. There is nothing about what you do in that tour that really shows you chocolate being made. A long time ago. Yes. Okay. Well, share that with me sometime because this is the only experience I have and it was miserable for me. Like the Hershey's Chocolate World tour is a ride. You sit in a little car, you're at like a theme park, and animatronic cows sing to you. That's what happens in the Hershey's Chocolate World tour. It's like a cross between It's a Small World After All and Chuck E. Cheese. Bright lights are flashing, there's colors everywhere, lots of songs and stuff, and you travel in your little car through different rooms to see how amazing it is to watch chocolate be made by singing cows. It's not a factory floor. It's not really watching a thing get made. I would have preferred Willy Wonka, honestly. Even if it meant being thrown in the chocolate, I would have preferred that. Several years later, we went to another factory in Pennsylvania, the Utz potato chip factory. Anybody ever been there? And I've looked it up 1,000 times. It is Utz. It is not Oots. It's pronounced Utz. In Hanover, Pennsylvania, this is a very different experience. No singing cows, no rides. You stand behind glass above the factory floor, and you look down at actual workers actually making actual potato chips. It starts at one end, and you watch the potatoes drop, and then they get washed, and then they go through a thing and they get sliced, and then they go through a conveyor belt and they get fried, and then they get salted, and then they get bagged, and they get boxed, and then they go out on a truck, and you can watch you just walk along. Oh, wow. All the way across. And you can look down and wave, and the people, they love their jobs, and they're just dancing and singing and enjoying making potato chips at the Utz Potato Chip Factory. It's one long, continuous process. There's no illusion. There's no performance. It's just real connection. real connection from start to finish. 2 tours, 2 approaches. One is presentation, the other is participation. And that tension, the participation versus presentation, is really the heart of the sermon today. This series for the month of March is called Up Close and Personal. We're going to be talking about closeness, not from a distance, not as spectators, not as people performing religious gestures, but true attachment. And today I want to look back at that woman in Scripture that we started January with, who we've actually already talked about today. We mentioned her this morning at the beginning of this. She desperately wanted closeness. Leah desperately wanted closeness. In Genesis 29, which is kind of the beginning of how Jacob goes and gets married, and it feels sort of like a trick, like he feels like he's put into a situation he didn't want to be in. He's married to Leah first and then to Rachel, and Rachel's the one that he wants. We all know that story. We did it in January. Leah lives in a shadow of rejection because of this. She's married, she is present, but she is not cherished. She thought for sure that she would be loved after God saw her and gave her Reuben. Then she hoped that Jacob would finally notice her as God heard her and gave her Simeon. But it still hasn't worked. And now we're on to her 3rd son. And Leah, while being seen and heard by God, is still trying to earn closeness to Jacob. Listen to her words with the 3rd son, Genesis 29:34. Again she conceived. And when she gave birth to a son, she said, "Now at last my husband will become attached to me, because I have borne him 3 sons." So his name was Levi. Levi in Hebrew means joined or attached. Leah says, "Now at last he will become attached to me." Leah believed that the fruit that she produced would lead to attachment to her husband. If I give him sons, if I produce enough, if I do enough, if I prove myself enough, then he will draw close. But Jacob's heart doesn't change, does it? She bears fruit, but she still isn't loved by Jacob. Fruit can't manufacture love. I know this personally. My first date with Leslie, I brought her a peach because we were talking on the phone about peaches. She can't stand fruit for the most part. She doesn't like much fruit. I tried to bring her a peach, and I think she took one bite and then gently put it away. It would have done no good for me to keep bringing her fruit. It was not going to convince her to love me. Fruit cannot manufacture love. In a very literal sense, fruit cannot manufacture love. Leah teaches us something very painful. I don't mean to make you guys laugh so much. Leah gives us this very painful understanding that you can't manufacture intimacy through output. You cannot force affection through performance. Leah's strategy was production in order to secure attachment. But attachment doesn't grow from fruit. Fruit grows from attachment. That's exactly what Jesus says in John 15. Remain in me as I also remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the... You guys got this. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Notice the order. Remain, then fruit. Attachment, then output. Jesus never says produce fruit so that you can stay and earn your place here on the vine. He says stay on the vine and fruit will happen. It will happen. Inherently, it will happen. Leah had it reversed. How often do we have it reversed? We have it reversed a lot. The Hershey ride faith does nothing. Some of our spiritual lives look like a Hershey tour, right? Bright, colorful, emotional, impressive. We create big spiritual gestures. We attend things. We volunteer. We serve. We post verses on Facebook, all of it. But underneath, we're quietly somehow thinking, if I do a lot more, if I do more, if I do this, if I do that, God will be closer to me. If I produce enough, he'll love me more. If I show enough fruit, I'll secure more attachment. But that's performance Christianity. Last week we read the story about the widow that was persistent with the judge. You remember the story in Luke 18? Right after that parable, immediately after it, we flow into this parable. This is Luke 18:9. To some who were confident of their own righteousness and looked down on everyone else, Jesus told this parable. 2 men went up to the temple to pray, one a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. The Pharisee stood by himself and prayed, God, I thank you that I am not like the other people. Actually, I guess his voice would be more, God, I thank you that I am not like the other people. Robbers, evildoers, adulterers, or even like this tax collector. I fast twice a week and give 1/10 of all I get. But the tax collector stood at a distance. He would not even look up to heaven, but beat his breast and said, God, have mercy on me, a sinner. I tell you that this man, rather than the other, went home justified before God. For all those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and all those who humble themselves will be exalted. The Pharisee is riding through a simulated factory. He's letting the animatronic cows take over. It looks like production. It looks like a show. It's not connected to the source. Leah's third son was her spiritual Hershey ride moment. She confidently believes that this will finally be enough. Now at last, he will become attached to me, she says. But fruit doesn't change a man's heart or a woman's heart. Fruit doesn't change God's heart either. It doesn't change his posture. He already loves you. Nothing that we do will change that love. Strive for the factory floor. Let's go for the factory floor of faith. The Utz style experience of our faith. No show. No ride. Just continuous connection. You can trace the potato from beginning to end without interruption. And maybe a little of this is because you wouldn't want to see the Hershey style thing with Utz potato chips. Like, it would be very troubling for children to watch singing animatronic potatoes get sliced and fried in hot oil. Nobody wants to see that. No one would come back for that. You wouldn't stop at the gift shop for that. Let that sink in for a second there on the screen. All morbid potato concepts aside, the way their factory tour is, it really demonstrates that John 15 style of faith. You're not watching a fake recreation. You're right there in the thick of it in real time. You're attached. You're abiding. You're remaining. And at the end of the tour, they give you a freshly made bag of potato chips. Like, you watched it go all the way through, and then you can enjoy at the end, because you stuck around and watched the process, this is what was made from it, and enjoy potato chips. Jesus says it clearly, no branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Not occasionally visit, not perform, remain. And here's the beautiful thing about Leah's story. Like I told you, we're going to jump into the next verse here. That twist in her story. After trying and trying and trying to earn Jacob's closeness, something shifts with her fourth son. Genesis 29:35, one verse later. She conceived again, and when she gave birth to a son, she said, this time I will praise the Lord. So she named him Judah. Then she stopped having children. Did you catch that? No mention of Jacob. Has nothing to do with what she does and what he'll think about it. Not trying to earn his closeness anymore. No bargaining, no expectation. This time I will praise the Lord. Judah means praised, to praise. She stopped trying to secure horizontal closeness and started aiming for vertical closeness. She's trying for the vertical connection now. Last month we talked about Samuel and him growing up in that priestly time. Samuel becomes a priest of Israel. Samuel was in the line of Levi, which are the priests. They are the ones who have the direct connection during the time of the Israelites. They are the ones that offer sacrifices to God. Levi was named as a result of hope that there could be physical closeness. Just like the nation of Israel wants physical closeness, they have to go through the priest who acts on their behalf for physical closeness to God. And then Judah, the son born out of praise, instead of performance, comes in the line of kings. And that bloodline leads us to the one who removes the barrier that was once only available to those priests, because the line of Judah will bring us Jesus. When Leah stopped producing to earn love and started turning toward God, legacy was born. And that's where she stopped having children. Finally, after the fourth one, she has turned toward God, and she is giving praise directly to him instead of trying to earn it with her husband. So let's bring this up close and personal, shall we? Why do we serve? Why does anyone here serve? Why do you give? Why do you show up? Is it to earn something? Or is it just the natural product of the direct connection to the vine? What is it that makes us do what we do? Some of us are exhausted because we're trying to make God love us more. But the cross already settled that. You don't bear fruit to get attached. You're attached so fruit grows. The vine does not love the branch more because it produces grapes. The branch produces grapes because it's loved and nourished by the vine. When you leave Hershey's Chocolate World, you leave entertained. They throw you over to the gift shop so you can buy a shirt to prove to people that you've been through the animatronic cow ride. When you leave Utz, you've witnessed reality. You have real food in your stomach. One is an experience designed to look like connection, and the other is connection. Leah lived for years trying to create something that looked like an attachment, but Jesus invites us to the factory floor. He says to remain in him, to stay close, to abide, be attached, because apart from him, we can do nothing.